Understand Hiroshima? Wallahi, billahi, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We're gonna do again.
What?
Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
We do again.
कमाल का माल है, देख रहे हो ना यार, आप कमाल की माल हो। कसम से ना दबाने का मैं है ना पति कैसे सब।
I'm sure by now you must have seen people around you who will do literally anything for their 5 minutes of fame on the internet or some sort of clout. And in the last few months, we have also seen the cases of many YouTubers who have done such things, including the Indian YouTuber who calls himself Malik swashbuckler. His real name is SD Khan, and the American vlogger Ramsey Khaled Ismail. These men have turned their terrible behavior into monetizable videos by harassing and verbally degrading ordinary citizens around the world. People around the world, of course, are now extremely tired of such behavior, so much so that finally judicial systems are stepping in and addressing this bad behavior. Now, in today's video, let's just discuss the court case which is going on against Ramsey Khaled Ismail in South Korea and against Vitali in Philippines. And let's see if the Indian Penal Code allows the Indian judiciary to step in and people like SD Khan for his behavior in Turkey. So let's see what happens when judicial systems clap back at nuisance vloggers. Hi, welcome to Collectively Vigilant. I'm Dr. D. I'm a professor and a lawyer who has experience with both common law and civil law jurisdictions. And it's really going to come in handy today because our video is going to traverse multiple legal systems from around the world. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. So let's start with the first scum of the earth that we're going to discuss today. His real name is Ramsey Khaled Ismail. On the internet, he goes by Johnny Somali. By the way, he is not from Somalia. He's an American YouTuber and he has done a lot of terrible things which have landed him in jail in 3 different countries.
Let me introduce myself if you don't know me already. I am Johnny Somali. I am part of the criminal nuisance live streamer gang called CX.
He's been in jail in Japan. He's been in jail in Israel. And now he's finally not free to leave South Korea for the terrible deeds that he's done there. So let's watch a bunch of these videos and then I'll tell you every single law that he violates.
I'm from America. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't touch me, bitch. Don't touch me, bitch. I'm from America, bitch. Don't touch me. I'm from America, bitch. Don't touch me. I'll slap that ass. I'll grab it too. I'll grab it by the pussy right here, nigga. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Oh, shit. I'm a different type of journalist. I'm a nigga journalist. I'm nigga Don Lemon.
Values. You weak Japs will never stop us. You will never stop CX. You will never stop Johnny Somali.
Right, so in the first video, you've seen that he was literally shouting at a Japanese man who was basically just heading back home, yelling at the top of his lungs and saying the word Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which was, of course, the 2 nuclear bombs which America had detonated on Japan. And he also kept saying that I'll do the same again, which is absurd. Then, of course, in the second video, on the 20th of August in 2023. Here, of course, he trespassed into a construction site in Osaka. He kept yelling Fukushima at workers, and for this, he was later arrested on the 21st of September 2023. Then again, because he was in this country for a long time, he was in Japan for a long time, for about 3 months, he was charged with obstruction of a business because he did the same thing yet again, where he started blasting loud music at a restaurant, inside a restaurant, where people were basically just peacefully eating their meals. And this time, the prosecutors, of course, demanded a fine from him, which came to about $1,400, which he had to pay in the Osaka District Court. Charges against him were trespassing and causing disruption. Then, of course, he takes this whole nuisance vlogging thing. After Japan, he goes to Israel. So in Israel, on the 9th of April of 2024, he's detained for harassing this female police officer. You saw the kind of terms that he was using for her. It was just vile. And imagine having the audacity where you move into a country where you're visiting them, and then you have the audacity to say terrible, degrading things to a police officer who's just basically going about doing her job. And on top of it, not even being sensitive to the fact that there's already a war going on in that country. So Japan didn't do anything except take a fine. Israel kept him detained for a few hours and then let him go. Now, the next thing he does, of course, he wanted to seal his fate, as it were, so he goes to South Korea.
The video of an American YouTuber who's been engaging in outrageous acts such as insulting the Statue of Peace and causing disturbances in convenience stores recently went viral online and sparked outrage in South Korea. The YouTuber was eventually booked by the police on Thursday. His name is Johnny Somali, a 24-year-old American man who makes money by uploading controversial actions on his YouTube channel. During his travels in Korea over the past month, Somali uploaded a video of himself kissing the Statue of Peace in Itaewon and performing a lewd dance in front of the monument. He also uploaded a video of himself pouring instant noodles on a convenience store table after an employee stopped him from drinking alcohol. As Somali's utter disrespect for proper behavior continued and criticism mounted, local police confirmed it was investigating his actions. The Mapa police station in Seoul said it booked Somali on obstruction of business activities. It was also confirmed that charges have been filed against the American livestreamer for assault and illegal drug use. He has since been banned from leaving South Korea. Meanwhile, a 20-something former Navy Special Forces member who recently attacked Somali was arrested and questioned by police, although he was subsequently released.
He reaches South Korea in late September of 2024. The first thing that he does there, of course, he harasses average passengers on the train. That seems to be the kind of thing he does. He also gets onto a bus, and then the next thing that he does is, of course, he very loudly starts playing a particular type of music, which is a tune which is only played in South Korea when it's under attack from North Korea. So people are extremely sensitized to this sound because they know that the enemies are about to hit them. And he played this for fun, just like he was harassing people in Japan. Then, as if this was not enough, what he does next is he goes to one of these statues of peace. Statues of peace are actually statues of little girls, and it's a representative of all the comfort women who were basically taken hostages by the Japanese army when they had conquered Korea, and those women were forced into sexual slavery. So these statues are extremely sensitive for a South Korean person and for their history. And he, of course, you saw, he was twerking, and these are called statues of peace. He later went whole P. Diddy on it, and he was putting baby oil, and you saw the kind of vile gestures he was doing there. Then, of course, this was not enough. He was live telecasting all this. So, of course, it pissed off a lot of South Koreans. And people were looking for him. And he has been punched in every single country he's been to. I must say that I didn't clip those videos and put them there. But literally every single one. People have punched him for his behavior. Except in Japan, where people have been extremely nice to him. They've just verbally asked him to apologize. But in South Korea, people have had enough. So a Navy SEAL who was on the road looking for Johnny Somali goes and hits Johnny Somali. A few days later, he goes to a convenience store where people are just, going about their everyday business, purchasing groceries. He disrupts the people who are shopping there, and then he makes extremely sexist comments as well while he's there. So cumulatively in South Korea, for all his bad behavior, he has been charged under obstruction of business or interfering with business. 4 counts of that, because he did that on 4 separate occasions. This was one place where he was pouring ramen noodles on the floor and on the working surface of a convenience store. Then he harassed a store staff, and that store is called Lotte World, Lotte World. And then he, of course, you remember, he disrupted people in the subway as well. He was playing loud music. You remember the kind of music that he was playing. So what he's looking at is a maximum penalty of 5 years for every single count of bad behavior, and he's pleaded guilty to several of these accounts, especially the minor offenses. One of his behaviors was he threw rotten fish at pedestrians who were just simply walking, for disrupting work, for playing loud music, where maximum penalty is about 30 days. But he was not done. Another thing that he has done, which actually carries more significant sentencing than anything else, is he alleges that he has not made that deep fake video himself, but he has distributed a deep fake video of himself where he is indulging in intercourse with a very well known South Korean YouTuber and vlogger. She's a celebrity, and according to the law, what he has done is actually classified as a sex crime under a special act of sexual violence crimes, which carries in itself 10 years of prison. And he's done that twice. So we're looking at a lot of jail term for him. Right. So there are additional things for which he's under investigation right now. Those charges have not been filed yet officially, where so he's not been charged for the North Korean propaganda. He can be charged under anti-terrorism laws under their National Security Act now, but no formal charges when it comes to these. However, he has pled guilty to a few of them. He's been in jail in and out. He is now being represented by a South Korean attorney, and a prominent YouTuber is actually translating for him. Those are 4 counts of obstruction of business, up to 5 years each. He's pleaded guilty on all of them. There's a minor offense of violation, 2 counts of that, for which he can go up to 30 days in jail. He's pleaded guilty. For the deep fake sexual violence stuff, he has not pleaded guilty for on that, and there are additional charges which can vary. So in total, some newspapers are saying that he might be charged for 21 years. I don't think that's correct. If I am calculating things correctly, I think it will be a maximum of 12 years under the guidelines for all the charges that have been filed as yet. If something else gets filed, that will be on top of those 12 years. So, and he will be in jail, but he can appeal while he's inside jail. That's actually very common in South Korea. And by the time his case will be heard, his appeal will be heard, it will probably be more than 3 to 4 years. So he's definitely looking at a conservative estimate of between 2 to 4 years in jail for things that he has already done. So that's Johnny Somali. Now let's move to another person who's been terrorizing people in several countries. He's done this in Egypt. He's done this in several countries around the world. He's done this in the US, but he's been let go after small periods of incarceration in different countries. He's been deported from a few countries. This guy's name is Vitali. He's a Russian YouTuber, and he's finally been taken to task in the Philippines, and he's currently in a jail in the Philippines. Vitali is exactly like Johnny Somali, but actually far, far, far more famous because he has millions of followers. And what he has done in all countries that he's been to is he has turned public harassment of average taxpayer into entertainment for his millions of followers. So in the Philippines specifically, he's been charged with public harassment causing physical injury, which in itself is up to 18 months in jail. And then he tried to kiss a male guard, but these people do everything for clout, so that's what he did. Another thing that he did was he caused a lot of alarm and scandal by causing public disturbance. And he also, according to the law, has done something which is called unjust vexation. Then he's been charged with theft because he stole a fan. He stole a motorcycle, which is, of course, punishable under local law. And all his aggregate sort of behavior, disruptive behavior, which, of course, increases the severity of his crimes. So he's been detained in Russia several times for such behavior. He's a Russian citizen. He has been detained in the US as well. Walked on top of a pyramid in Egypt as well. He's been deported from most of the countries, and his penalties are extremely severe in the Philippines. So on April 2nd to April 3rd of 2025, he was detained in the Philippines and classified as an undesirable alien. On June 11 of 2025, he was transferred from one detention center to the other, and he's been charged with unjust vexation, theft, harassment, as I said, and depending on the outcomes, he's definitely going to be there for at least 1 to 3 years. Now, let's see if for the behavior of SD Khan, the Indian judicial system can do something about it or not. Indian laws applicable to citizens who harm foreign relations. I think he can be charged with under Indian Penal Code of 1860 with sections 153A and 153B, because what he's done in Turkey is definitely promotes enmity between India, and of course has sparked this sort of tension between our diplomatic relations, especially after Turkey has sided with Pakistan in the light of the recent terror attack. So this has, of course, exacerbated that situation even more, and he can definitely be charged if there is political will and if there's judicial will. So according to the Indian Criminal Procedure 1973, which is CRPC 1973, section 188. Now, the one thing the Indian government can definitely do is, under the Passports Act of 1967, the government can impound this man's passport, revoke his passport for the activities that he's done, because those activities are prejudicial to the sovereignty integrity of India with a foreign entity, with a foreign government. So if nothing else, this man's passport can definitely be revoked. Imagine if that's a normal average citizen of Turkey, if that's the only Indian they will ever meet, and if that's the only Indian they'll ever lay eyes on, they will probably think every single Indian is like that. And that's exactly what's so harmful about the behavior of Vitali, of Ramsey Khaled Ismail, who calls himself Johnny Somali. These people are genuinely a nuisance, not only to those people who these people directly harm, but they're a nuisance for you and I, because whenever we go anywhere in the world, people would think that every single one of us are exactly like these people. And it's not their fault, because that might be the only Indian or the only Russian or the only American those average people would ever meet. I'm sure in most countries people keep their minds open, but just put yourself in the shoes of the person who's been harassed while just going to work or just walking on the pedestrian subway, and you basically have a rotten fish being thrown at you for entertainment, or you're just trying to make it to work and someone's blasting enemy propaganda and saying that we will unleash the nuclear attack on you. So of course, I'm really glad that governments around the world and the judicial systems are finally stepping up and doing something about this. What are your thoughts about this? These people, these nuisance vloggers? Comment down below if you think that these people have done enough and there should be specific laws, especially in our country, where we should disbar people from doing such things. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And until I see you again, stay collectively vigilant.